Hello everybody. What we're going to be doing tonight is a breakdown of the staff, the witch's staff as a whole weapon. I'm gonna just like talk about it, talk about the best ways to use it, explain the differences between the play styles of the aspects. I did a tier list for all the aspects. Now I want to actually get into the nitty-gritty of how they work. So that's what we're going to do. So here we go. Nope. Let's see what he has to say. Paint vases.
You'd think I know the answer, Princess, but it pains me to admit I never once stopped to consider that. Weaving is just what they did. There aren't too many activities fit for exactly 3. Perhaps that's it.
It just seems like they could make their prophecies much faster if they chose a simpler craft.
Best not to give them any ideas. I'll come back and talk to him in a minute. After I do this, I don't want to give you guys a bunch of spoilers. If you're still trying to like, we'll grab the dog just because I like the dog. So we're gonna go to the witch's aspect here. We'll start off. Just go down in order. We have the aspect of Melinoë. Max magic and specials power plus 40. So you're gonna want magic for this, but not a ton. As you can see, it's only 10 mana to throw a. What's he gonna say?
Yes, I've heard all right. Fate Schmates, you must know.
Fate's Schmates? What is that supposed to mean? Sounds rather disrespectful on initial impression.
Disrespectful? Oh, Bobby, that for me. I merely say Fate Schmates and ask that you consider the weight of my words.
You don't care that a new age may dawn. The rule of gods may end.
Kiddo, I'll believe it when it happens. Well, probably I'll be dead by then.
I'm immortal and the rest of you already are dead.
Just saying, don't hold your breath.
Okay, so yeah, this is, look at 136 damage per shot. It does knock you back a little bit, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's not that bad. Then it charges up the Omega pretty fast. So it depends what you put on the special is really going to depend what you're trying to do, I think. So if you're just going to be doing this, you might want something that applies a status. You might want to put Blitz, or I don't think you want Zeus. I don't think you want to put Splash on there or whatever. Froth. That's not really good. But I don't think you really want to be using it to apply. It's probably bad to be applying Scorch, but I could see Hitch and Blitz would be the two that I would think would be okay. So, and then, but I think mostly if you're going to be just doing this, if you're going to be doing a lot of this, it also might depend on the hammer you get. We can look at the hammers in a second. Here, we'll bring up the hammers here. Sorry. Where are the weapon aspects? Okay, here we go. So, I mean, these are all fine. Like, if you get Wicked Thrasher, you might want to throw some auto attacks in there too, but mostly you're going to want... like, this is probably the best one, Dual Moonshot. This is the best one overall by far, the best one. This one's good if you're going to be doing the fast one, the normal special. I find it to be very good, especially if you're playing with wards. You can knock wards off with it, things like that. If you're applying Hitch, it's very, very good. Applying Blitz, very, very good. Okay, if you get Rapid Thrasher, you can definitely go and do attacks because your attacks are going to be so fast. Rapid Moonshot's very good if you're going to be using the special. I mean the Omega special, sorry. I mean, it's fine if you're using the normal special. But, yeah, okay. Yeah, it does work with the Omega special. I was just making sure. But yeah, we gotta go back in there real quick. Let's see what's at the bottom. Did I miss anything here? Nothing that you would have on this. Like, I mean, if you get this, you're probably gonna want to get a strong mana range on and attack a lot just because it's so strong. This is fine too. don't take this. It's not worth the channel. The channel speed's way too long. But if you get this, it's very good. Especially if you, I think if you have the thing that makes you faster, it probably really helps too. You just got to try to time it and get that 20 mana back. Get the 50% damage. But yeah, mostly you're just going to be dashing, dropping your cast, shooting this, powering up Omegas. If you're going to be shooting this a lot, you probably want to get a Hex. If you get the Rapid, the hammer that makes you 25% faster, you're definitely going to want to be shooting this. Basically, though, okay, so the things I would recommend putting most on, if you're going to be, the things I recommend putting most on the special with this are going to be Hera for Hitch, Apollo for more area of effect on the Omega, and Aphrodite. If you do get Aphrodite, you can try to go for the island thing, the island getaway to make it so you do. But if you have Shimmering Moonshot on Aphrodite, you're going to be up close anyway. And then, yeah, those are the best ones. And you can wounds is good too, especially if you get the double thing. You're just like bap, 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 bap. Putting wounds on things is very good. And then, like I said, Blitz is fine. So you're gonna do if you're gonna be doing a lot of this, Blitz is good. So yeah, that is that. Let's go look at the Arcana real quick before I move on here. So, I guess this just completely mattered. This just depends how you want to play and what fear you're at. So I'm not gonna get into the Arcana with this. That's going into the weeds too much. Sorry. Okay. So Aspect of Circe. Completely different play style. You're gonna want to have something juicy on your attack, in my opinion, with this. But the main thing is you're gonna want to get a good cast. Hopefully with rarity, you're gonna want to palm it. I don't recommend. Okay, so if you're gonna drop Demeter's cast on it, what I recommend then is you try to go into the Omega cast. So you're gonna want to probably have like Poseidon for Geyser Spout, maybe Ares for Sword Drop. Then you're gonna want to get the other boons that Demeter has, like the Arctic Gust. Or Arctic Gale, I think it's called, actually, sorry. And then you could go into Prominence Flare and Nova, whatever it's called, Nova Ring, Nova, let's see what that's called here. Supernova, right? Yeah, Supernova, sorry. And then they just Omega cast and just keep putting all that stuff on. They get Meat Grinder, like all that stuff. That's super good. That'd be one way to play that if you got Demeter. But you really, I don't think you want to be going down that. You can get Poseidon and kind of do the same thing, where you just stack things on top of it and get Geyser Spout and go that route. Geyser Spout's never bad to have if you were playing this aspect, but really what I think you want to be doing is putting either Smolder Ring or Zeus's cast, which is called, what again? Let's see here. Storm Ring. I don't know why I always forget that. So you want either a Smolder Ring or Storm Ring on there, because those are probably those are the two highest damage casts. The next tier down that I think you would want to be doing would be Apollo. Basically, so the next tier is pretty much, I think it's pretty close with the next four. You could go like Apollo, Poseidon, Apollo, Poseidon. My brain is completely farting. Let me open this one. So you can go Apollo, Poseidon. Aphrodite's cast is probably bottom tier too, just like but you can go, yeah, you can go Hef also. So yeah, you can go Apollo, Poseidon, or Hef, or even Hera at that tier. I think as far as damage dealing, the bottom tier is definitely Demeter, Aphrodite, Ares. But defensively, Demeter and Aphrodite are great. Ares' cast can do damage, but it's the delay on it's awful. You need to get duo boons to make it good. Just ignore that unless you're trying to be silly. But yeah, tier 1, definitely Zeus and Hestia. Those are the two you're looking for. And then, unless you're new and you're just trying to use it defensively, but I know you shouldn't be playing this if that's what your goal is. Your main damage output should probably be like your 2 casts and your leash, and then you take a really good attack, especially if you can get like Rapid Thrasher or Mirror Thrasher. But yeah, the way this plays is you have a pet with you. A lot of times you want to have Tula, and then you just get that long leash because she doesn't run anywhere. And then another way you can play it too is you just go wake her up and have her go attack the guy, and you can stand all the way back here and just cast, and you can go run around the room and kill other things while she's attacking whatever. You can have her fight bosses for you. You can just use movement speed, especially if you have like blinding rush to move quickly. Just have her attacking the boss while you drop the cast. It's really, really good. You can stack the cast on top of each other for things like title rings. So you can bop bop 2 big hits. She's really solid. She's like tier 1. As far as the hammers are least important on her, on this aspect of any of them. So let's see here. Yeah, as far as hammers go, I mean, they're still basically the same. You can use the attack or the special as your secondary damage. So like whatever hammer you get, if you get Wicked Thrasher or Dual Moonshot, like if you get Wicked Thrasher, you go with your attack. Dual Moonshot, you go with your special, obviously. Rapid Thrasher or Mirrored Thrasher, though, just get a juicy attack, like something that applies a status. Preferably, you just want Hestia or Poseidon there and just go crazy. Yeah, things like that. But that's the kind of the hammers that I would use. Like Harris Cast would be fine in this too. I think the Harris Cast would be better in the underworld, where things that have as many hit points, and there's a lot more swarms of enemies. Like especially like a couple of those zones, you just get like tons of little enemies. Then that is really good because you can just like bop and pop everything. But nowadays, I think her sprint is actually the better way to do that. So yeah, that's that. But like I said, just try to get Zeus or Hestia. I mean, unless you're trying to go for an Omega Cast build, then you want to drop it down to like either Poseidon or Demeter or Aphrodite, maybe. Like just start stacking things on top of those. It'd be really good. Okay, next aspect here. Aspect of Momus. So aspect of Momus is probably might be the worst one now. I don't know. I think I had it higher than Melstaff, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Where I put that. That might have been a bit of me wanting Momus to be really good. But it's the way that Momus is going to work. You're just going to want to be... Here, let's go grab Hecuba. Get some more mana. You just want to be spamming the Omegas. Because the way that it works is you basically set up turrets. So like all 3 of these things are just going to keep continuously hitting. Wow. Every 3 seconds they go. So, yeah, I'll read that out. We'll check that here. So, delay between Mega Bursts is 2 seconds. They fire 3 times. So it's really, really fun. It is very strong. I think it's... No matter what, you're going to put this in B or A tier. It's definitely not S tier anymore. They nerfed it. And just having to stand still that much is bad in the Rivals boss fights. So, yeah, you're just not going to be able... You're going to take too much damage in Rivals boss fights, especially if you have Double Frenzy. So the estimation of where Momus is, I think, dropped from being S tier by pretty much everybody to being... And they buffed everything else to basically be better. But it's still really good. None of the staffs are bad. The staffs are like 2 A tiers and 2 S tiers, probably. Like the S tiers being Circe and Anubis, and then another 2 being A tiers, in my opinion. So that's what you do with the Momus. It's really good. You need a really good healthy mana regen. On the Omega attack, you want something with a lot of percentage. So you could think Apollo, Hera. You could even Ares for the... Ares is really good on the attack because he adds wounds, so he just adds a lot of power along with like his 30 to 60% depending on your rarity. And yeah, you can also like I said, Apollo, and there's actually not even Demeter's fine too. Demeter's juicy. I forgot to mention Demeter on the. Demeter's good on the special too, because you're applying a stat. This gets good on the special for all the specials for everybody. All the specials, to be fair, play very similar. So Demeter gives you a really juicy percentage and has freeze. So like Demeter and Hera are kind of just like do slightly less damage than Apollo, but add a curse, a status. So when you're for the attack, Apollo would be better on the attack because the percentage would help more. And then on the special, get something that adds a status. So you can put a status on like your sprint or your cast. Because if you have Apollo on one of them, you have to be careful to not lock yourself out of getting origination. It's too good. But yeah, that's how Momus works. It's really fun. Yeah, just boom, 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 boom. Yeah, all the damage, crazy damage. It's really fun. You just want to put percentages on the attack, like I said. Get statuses on your statuses with maybe some percentage on your staff. Then just get the best cast you can get. Maybe you might want Demeter's cast to. You definitely need defense when you play this thing. So you're gonna take you're gonna want good boons on like your attack, your cast, and your special. But so you're definitely gonna want defense though. So I think on one of them you want to have freeze. Probably your cast, because your cast is the one you're least likely gonna be wanting to drop omegas on. So yeah, this is the least impactful probably. So you can just put Demeter on there for safety. So you can drop that and start charging this and. Yeah, so but you know what I mean. You just you want defense, so Demeter is very good there. Then you're gonna want to take lots of other defensive things that you can like pile up your hit points, get like Nitro boost with some shields, get dodge from like Aphrodite or Apollo's days, or like hot pot from Hestia. You can take. You can get Hephaestus, stack some armor on yourself, get the trusty shield, get the all that stuff going. It's very good. Self-healing from Apollo is very good. Get Moon Water. Moon Water is amazing on this aspect. You spend so much mana. If you get the thing where you can stack a bunch of them, you can spend the mana to actually use them during a fight. So you can basically just face tank Typhon. Because you're just healing yourself with Moon Water while you're setting up turrets. It's really, really good. So that's how you play Momus here. And then the last aspect, currently my favorite to play. It's not the strongest. It's not as strong as Circe, but it's very, very good. So there's two ways to play this. One, you drop like your auto attack and your cast, and then you use specials. Whether it's this one, you use your poking special. I mean, to just draw people into it. You don't see that here, but. Because it doesn't actually pull him. But yeah, you go like, drop that and you cast back up and then just pull people into it with your tapping special. Another way to play it is you just prioritize this. It does a lot of damage. That's just base damage is 165. And it charges very fast. It uses a bunch of mana, but and the mega attack is good on this. Yeah, so yeah, that's how you do that. Yeah, it's funny. You can, yeah, but you can drop the Omega attack. There's another thing you can do, but it's slow. The problem with the attack is if you're on Double Frenzy, and especially if you're in the Double Frenzy Rivals fight, you're gonna have a hard time actually dropping this attack without having Rapid Thrasher. If you get Rapid Thrasher, it's basically instantaneous, and it is awesome. But like I said, it's very hard to drop it. You're gonna want to, but if you can drop that and then you cast, and then just pull people in with by tapping your special on them, then you're gonna want to put like Blitz probably on the special because it's very easy just to apply it. Now on the attack, you definitely want something more rapid hitting on the attack. So basically, I think it's so big though, so you have options here. You can put a lot of different things on it. Almost everything works. You can put Scorch, it works very, very good. You can put Froth, it works very, very good. You can put Blitz, it works better than you think it would. It's pretty good. You can put Apollo, it becomes gigantic. So like you go Apollo attack, and then like Ares special, and then you get Zeus, you go like Heinous front. You start tapping things with your Ares special, and then you can get Static Shock. And Static Shock will apply on that whole big area, the giant area Apollo does. I think I did like 80, 90k with just Static Shock once, just applying it with... Now, I think it might have been a King's Ransom in there that made the Static Shock do like 50 damage a pop. Or maybe an Air Quality that did it. Sorry, it's probably Air Quality, now I think about it. But, yeah. So that's really how you play that. The two different ways are just you attack and to like pull everybody in, and of course, like as you can't see them here, but it does make mix lone shades like these guys, but they're yellow, and that's so dumb. I hate that. And there's hammers. Let's go talk about the hammers real quick, because they're different than the hammers for the other staff aspects. Well, it has a lot of the same ones, but it has a lot of different ones too. So you're still gonna get like, I don't think you actually do get Wicked Thrasher. No, you don't get a lot of these. You don't get. You still get the ones for the special. Those are all the same. But for attack purposes, you get Soul-Filled Ankh. Your attacks have 5 power and hit a larger area. That replaces Wicked Thrasher. If you have that plus Apollo, it compounds and you get this giant attack. And then the mirrored attack, the mirrored Ankh is kind of like mirrored Thrasher. It gives you an extra. You saw that there was that bar there, right? Across at the end of my attack. Well, if you get the mirrored Ankh, it just puts another one out even further, so you have crazy range. That makes it safer to do. If you get mirrored Ankh, you can do it like mirrored Ankh plus rapid Thrasher. You can just put that down so fast. It's really, really strong. Now you get Scarab Etchings. Lone Shades deal plus 50 damage and have 75% to reappear after striking a foe. That's actually very good. I like people. I think a lot of people don't like them, but I actually really like I like the Scarabs. If you're using the hordes thing and you're getting a lot of extra enemies, you just have those everywhere. You just run around. You drop your cast and your attack, and then you just run around scooping shades up and throwing them at the enemies. And if you get that, it goes bonkers. And then there's all the Lone Shade or Pharaoh Etchings. Lone Shades have a 50% damage, and then they launch at foes struck by your special. So like on that one, like if you're killing people with your attack or your special, then you shoot another special, it'll hit those. It'll hit the shades and send them flying at people, so that's pretty cool. There's the extra damage in the shades there is good, but this first one's better, Scarab Etchings. But that's how the hammers on those work. So that's the staffs. In my opinion, the way that they are ranked is first, First is definitely Circe. Second is this, Anubis. Third, in my opinion, is still Momus by a centimeter, maybe. I could be wrong about that. I'm willing to accept I'm wrong about that if I have a discussion with someone who is very convincing. And then last, but not bad at all, still at least A tier, is the Mel Staff. The staff is the strongest aspect in the game from top to bottom, in my opinion. It's that or torches, I guess. But I'm going to go out and say it's this one. It's the staff. So if anyone has any questions or comments about this, please hit me up. I'd love to talk to you about it. And have a great day, everybody.